Bullish. Hey gang, this is Simba. Welcome back to another episode of the Lions Den Crypto Digest. And let me tell you what, I am bullish as can be. I think the bull run has officially begun and we're going up from here. We just saw Bitcoin just go into some ridiculous numbers. Not just Bitcoin. Look at this. Look at the crypto bubble. This is just today, and yesterday was even more green, right? A lot of these altcoins, a lot of these memes and whatnot, they were sitting at really good support zones. If you took a look at the last video of the chart breakdown that we had, you saw that we were sitting at major support zones, right? And now we're finally breaking out, right? And Bitcoin, Big Daddy Bitcoin is really leading this. Look at this chart. Coin on the weekly chart, it really held strongly on that 50 moving average. I thought possibly we were going to go lower down to the 50% Fibonacci, but we didn't, right? That 50 moving average really held up strong, and now we're headed towards the all-time highs. Right now Bitcoin is at 103k, and we're just about what, 5-6% away from the all-time highs, right? And it's really holding strong on this major support level at 95k. So I think we might possibly come back and retrace the 94k support zone, but after that I think we're gone. Guys. This is the beginning of a major bull run. Right, this is the beginning of a major bull run, and it's lovely to see. And not just only that, right? Ethereum, look, Vitalik finally woke up, and ETH finally started to do something, right? So ETH is looking pretty right now. It had a major move. Yesterday it went all the way up. It was up 20%. We haven't seen Ethereum go up 20% in one day in a long time. And first it goes Bitcoin, right? But once Ethereum really starts to move, then we start to see altcoins start to move as well, and then memes follow after that as well. But everything was green. Yesterday I woke up and I opened my portfolio. All I saw was green dildos. Just a bunch of green dildos. No Diddy, by the way. You have to make sure you say no Diddy. Yeah, a bunch of green dildos, and it was just good to see. We've been in such a bear market for so long, right? Look at this chart. Look at Ethereum, man. Look at Ethereum on the daily chart, right? Since the beginning of the year, we've just been on a downtrend. Right, and then we finally reached this support zone. There was a bit of a fake out, right, that went underneath that 1,800 for Ethereum, but we reclaimed it, right? And then these moving averages really held up that ETH chart, and after that we just exploded to the upside. Let me go down to the lower time frame so we can take a look. If you follow me on Twitter, you will see that I was mentioning that Ethereum was sitting at a really good support zone over here, and it had a really nice base, and it was due for a rocket ship to the upside, and that's exactly what it did. It just literally shot up, right, going up 20% in just one day. Now I don't know if the Petra upgrade had anything to do with it. Maybe it did, because I don't know if it had anything to do with it, because everything else went up, right? Everything else went up. It was just not Ethereum going up 20%. There's a lot of major tokens that were up 20, 30, 40%, right? It was absolutely insane. And today we wake up and the uptrend still continues, right? We even seen Pepe go up 19%, Jupe 15%, Trump 17%. So this was great to see, right? And we have some good news as well. The good news continues, specifically for Coinbase. Coinbase really unveils its 24/7 Bitcoin and Ethereum futures trading one day after announcing a landmark Deribit acquisition. So Coinbase really opened up derivatives and options trading for anybody, really, for institutions as well. So we're going to start seeing a lot more volume in the crypto market. So Coinbase is making moves. Coinbase is making moves. And let's take a look at the Coinbase chart, by the way. Let's see how the Coinbase chart is looking on the NASDAQ. Ooh, let's go. Okay, there we go. Coinbase really launched right on the NASDAQ strongly and just kind of collapsed as well. And this kind of reflects the crypto market as well. This would have been a great time to get in 2023 around August. Man, an options call would have been phenomenal. But right now, we have retraced. It shot up all the way from August. Just in about a year, it went from $67, right, the Coinbase stock, all the way to $350, and we have retraced just a little bit down to about $200. In fact, this will be a good time if you guys do any options. Not financial advice. No, not financial advice. A leap play, maybe a couple months out doing an options call. I think this might be a good bet, right? I think Coinbase is going to go up, and Coinbase is also a play on the entire crypto market, right? If the crypto market is performing well, so does Coinbase, because the volume also increases along with it. So this is good news. Coinbase has been doing a lot of work. Really, they're really aiming to be that premier exchange, right? But they're battling with the likes of Coinbase, right, Qcoin and all that, right? But Coinbase is definitely the biggest exchange in the US, and this is where the dollar is, right? So I'm betting big on Coinbase to definitely succeed. But also another cool news that came out today, actually, for all you NFT DJs out there, right? Doodle launched its Ethereum token, and they actually gave out 30% of the total supply to it's an airdrop to all the holders. Let's take a look at Doodles. When NFT projects drop their token, it usually goes down, right? Usually goes down. Oh my God, whew, boy! This is the Doodle. No, this is not Doodle. Let me see Doodle. It might not even be on. Let me see. Doodles. I wonder if this is Doodle. Let's go down to the lower time frame. So, this is kind of expected. This is kind of expected when NFTs really do this airdrop or launch their token. And this is today, by the way. People take profit, right? This is the same thing that happened to Pudgy Penguins and all that. So, but from there, I think Doodles is one of the best projects in the entire Web3 when it comes to NFTs. I think they're gonna do great, and they do plan to bring utility to their token as well. So if you held that NFT, you definitely should check your wallet to see if you received any tokens. In your wallet. It's probably a good hold as well, because I think Doodle is going to do some phenomenal things in this industry. They're pretty big and well connected and highly loved. But yeah, the Doodle airdrop was phenomenal to see. I think it was great. It was great for sure. Love to see this. I would love to see more of these projects, these Ethereum, these NFT projects really come and bring value and reward their holders, right? But the interesting thing is that they did move from Ethereum to Solana, right? And we have seen a lot of these projects move from Ethereum to Solana, but it's really hard to compete with Solana. You know what I'm saying? That's where a lot of liquidity is, and that's where a lot of degens are. It's sad for the Ethereum ecosystem, but at the same time, I'm happy to see the Doodle holders, get rewarded. So that's good to see. But yeah, with that said, there's also another story that I also took a look at. It was Zerebro. Talk about meme coin. Zerebro's Jeffy allegedly found alive at his parents' house after a parent staged death, right? And this death sparked $100 million meme coin surge. So Zerebro really went crazy. Look, man, I hate when people do this. I don't know why founders have to do such things. It's kind of terrible, right? But let's take a look at the token itself. Zerebro, and see what happened. Zerebro, there we go. Zerebro Maxi. Right, so Zerebro started out great. It started out great. They actually even went all the way to 80 cents, but completely crashed. Let's go down to the lower time frame. But you know, they did have a nice rebound, and then went back down. I think his death really triggered an upside. Why do people do this? I have no idea. I cannot explain to you why he did this. But at the same time, the kid is only 22 years old. You know, maybe this is something that he can learn, but I do feel bad for, you know, playing with people's emotions. Don't do this. This is not good, guys. This is not good. God is going to find you. God is going to find you, and he will not be kind to you. But yeah, with that said, man, I wish him luck, whatever he may be going through in his life, right? But yeah, on that said, guys, the Solana as well. Let's just jump down to Solana. Bullish on Solana. Solana also blew up as well, and it's up 4% today, but it was going crazy, right? A lot of these tokens performed really well. You know, they performed really well. So, and they were sitting at really nice support zones for quite some time. For me, I use the Fibonacci, and anytime I see the 50% fib, I see that as the golden zone, right? This is buying season for me. So it finally went, you know, rebounded, and also the moving averages also confirmed. It touched that 50% fib level, right? And then from there, it really started to explode. This right here is a base. You see, this is a base. So for me, the longer the base just means the longer the pop, and I can see Solana really starting to jump and start to go towards its all-time high. I think we might come back and retest that 61% fib level, right? Possibly going back to 160, maybe, perhaps, and then really continuing the upside, right? We might do something like this and then continue from there. I think Solana is doing well. Solana is getting a lot. You know, I'm glad to see the Ethereum really bring this Spectral upgrade. Hopefully they can be back in the competition, right? So that Spectral upgrade is looking to make Ethereum more user friendly, but also reduce those gas fees as well. But at the same time, that's everything. Almost everything that the Spectral upgrade has is what Solana already has. You know what I'm saying? But Ethereum still has the most developers in the whole entire ecosystem, and also dApps as well. So there's a lot of money invested in Ethereum, in the Ethereum ecosystem, a lot of builders as well. And plus, one thing to not overlook is that Coinbase's blockchain base is also built on top of Ethereum, right? And so they're incentivized to make Ethereum great. And also at the same time, right, a lot of these ETFs, most of these ETFs have been approved basically only for Bitcoin, right? So all the money, all this institutional money is coming into Bitcoin. Now, once we start to see more ETFs, right, probably the next one will be Ethereum, and we will really start to see the money come to Ethereum, and then it will trickle down to the rest of the altcoins. But I do believe the second one, since Bitcoin now has ETFs, I think the second major one to really come in is Ethereum. And Ethereum being that that ecosystem that has the most developers, there's going to be a lot of institutional money coming to it. So look forward to that. So I think Solana is going to do well. I think Ethereum is going to do well as well. But I can't say it's quite performing as well as Solana, but it's getting there. And with that major boost, that pectoral upgrade, and that 20% move in a single day, eyes are back on ETH. Eyes are back on ETH. We might even see that 10K by the end of this cycle. A lot of people are talking about that 10K. I don't know if we'll reach that 10K, but I think if it gets an ETF this cycle, I think we might even go to 10K, maybe even possibly beyond that, right? And another one to kind of take a look at is really XRP. XRP has, the XRP Foundation has a lot of money. And there's and this base that it currently has, right, between the $1 and 70 cents and $2, there's really this nice base that has been formed, especially having that nice move to the upside. XRP had this really ridiculous move coming from 5 cents and just running up, man. This thing jumped harder than LeBron James going for a block, right? 50 cents to $3 in just a matter of a couple of months, since November, right, just before the end of 2024, and just went crazy. So right now it's taking a breather, right? And again, once I see a chart go down to this 61% Fibonacci, for me it's the golden zone, right? So this was a great buying opportunity, right below $1 over here, and now we're just continuing the upside, and it's really holding strong on that 200 moving average. So I think it's going to do phenomenal. By the way, let's take a look at Julian. So Julian Beetle, CFA, right? He and even a lot of people keep talking about this global M2, right? And after these couple of months, especially Raul Paul. If you guys don't follow Raul, he's also a phenomenal analyst in the whole of Web3, and this is who everybody is stealing from, right? This global M2, this global money supply, because at the end of the day, it's all about liquidity, right? It's all about liquidity. This is basically what Bitcoin tracks, right? It tracks global liquidity. When governments and banks start to print money, right, this is when we start to see Bitcoin really start to rise, right? So this is the global M2, right? It pretty much measures the amount of money that is circulating in the global economy, and it usually lags by just a couple of weeks, right? And right now the global money supply has been printing, right? Central banks have been printing crazy, and look how beautiful that. Look at the comparison. The comparison is almost identical, right, with a lag. So we have hit the bottom. Right? And now the global M2 has absolutely exploded. So we should see the same thing as well. So this is a great indication. If you don't believe we're about to go into a crazy bull run, this is it for you right here, right? This is it for you right here. We're about to go much higher. And this Raul and the global M2 have made me a believer, right? So this is great for Confluence. I think we're going to see some incredible numbers. We're definitely going to see Bitcoin at 200K plus, 200, 240, 250, even 300K. 200K Bitcoin, I still believe is that's bearish, right? We're going to go much higher, especially as all these institutions, for God's sake, we just saw the first two states, I think it was Arizona and New Hampshire, right, adopt a Bitcoin reserve, and they're targeting 5%, right, of their state's reserve to be in Bitcoin. And this is just the beginning. We're going to see a lot more states adopt that global Bitcoin reserve, and then from there, I think once we see a couple more states adopt this, we're going to see the U.S. as a whole adopt this as a nation, and this is something that Trump is pushing hard for. We're going to see some phenomenal numbers. I mean, for Bitcoin, we're literally almost at the all-time high. But yeah, I can't leave. I can't leave today without talking about some of my major bullish token, right? One of them is definitely Hyperliquid, right? If you're not paying attention to Hyperliquid, I don't know what the heck you're doing. Hyperliquid has been phenomenal, and if you follow me on X, you know that I made a call for Hyperliquid when we were sitting at this 23% Fibonacci level, which is about $17, right? I said that we're gonna come back and rebound once we retest that support level at $17. We're about to skyrocket. We're about to skyrocket and really start going to that 50% fib level, and that's exactly what we did, right? And I was just paying attention to these key levels and also the moving averages and how they held up down here, right? Holding up very, very strong here, and also this rebound that we had over here, right, on the daily. Once we started to push up, I was like, oh man, this thing is about to blow. This thing is about to blow. And not only that, Hyperliquid is really coming out as a superstar, right? They're literally an exchange that is on chain, and they offer what 20 or 40x leverage on chain, and they're competing with the likes of Binance. And they're currently right now sitting, I believe, at $7 billion market cap, and Binance is 180 or probably $190 billion market cap. So they have a lot. They're gonna do phenomenal. This is probably one of my top bullish asset right now, and if you've used their platform before, they're extremely smooth, right? And another one as well is Virtuals. Virtuals went absolutely ballistic. It's one of the more newer tokens compared to the other major altcoins. But yeah, again, these guys went crazy. These guys went crazy, right? Especially towards the end of 2024, right? Just going crazy, and they went basically from $0 to $5 in no time, right? And they did retrace. They had a major retracement. So going from $5 all the way down to 50 cents, like this was the time to buy, right? And these moving averages really confirmed it right here. This was the time to get in. So once this moving average is really confirmed, this was a buy signal. This was go time. This was go time, right? And 1 second, let me get rid of this right here. These lower time frames, yeah. And looking at it right now, actually look at this. Look how beautiful that 200 moving average really held up the chart, right? It really bounced up, hit that 61% fib, and retraced. I thought we were possibly gonna go down to $1, right, to get in again. But this thing didn't stop, right? That 200 moving averages really held it up. And looking up here as well, I think that we're gonna continue this. This rocket ship is not stopping. It does, at least it doesn't seem like it. And you know, if we do uphold the 61% fib level at $1, which I think we are, let's move down to the lower chart, right? And that's exactly what it's doing. It's kind of holding tight to this support, or right, it's holding tight to this support. And if we do hold, I think we're gonna go much higher, at least continue this ride. We still have a long ways to go. I think we're definitely gonna go to $5 by the end of this bull market, and we're gonna go even beyond. I mean, this is one of the leader of the agentic economy, right? And taking a look at their platform, Virtuals, not only are they leading, they also inside of Virtuals there's also tokens that are going up 300, 500, 200, 300% right off the bat, right? So inside of Virtuals, people are creating these AI agents, and these AI agents come with their own token, right? And they just launched this new feature called the Genesis launch. So it's pretty cool. You guys should definitely check out Virtuals. I think this is great, especially for builders, right? Think about it almost like a pump that fund for AI agent, except it's a lot better, more smoother, and it takes away a lot of the risks that pump that fund has, right? I can speak a little bit more on it, but it's phenomenal, and there is money to be made as well on these AI agents inside of our virtuals. And this platform is definitely growing. I think in the future, I'm just saying, don't miss out. Not financial advice, but do not miss out on what virtual is building. Ayo, and today I can't stop without talking about Fartcoin. I can't stop without talking about Fartcoin. Look at Fartcoin, man. Look at Fartcoin, man. It's so inspirational. Just hot air rises, right? No, it released around November, or right before November or October, and Fartcoin just completely rose, right? Hot air rose, fart toot toot, right? Just running up all the way from 2 cents coming and just jumped all the way to $2, right? $2.80, just topping out from there. Now it did have a huge retracement, but again, you know what I'm saying? Like this moving average just really confirmed it, and it's really started to hold that support at $1, right? So it's holding that support, that golden Fibonacci level at that 61%, and is headed towards that 51%. It's probably gonna go up, break through that 50% fib level, and maybe possibly come back and retest it. And if we can retest that 50 fib level at $1.30, and it successfully defends it, I think we're gonna continue to go higher. You know, hot air just rises. Don't ask me why. It's just physics. It's just science, my guy. It's just science. Hot air rises, right? But yeah, guys. So there's a lot of these tokens are looking good. You know, even BNB, Binance itself. Binance is looking good. It's been really holding this support at $540, right? Especially after that major run up towards the beginning of the year, coming all the way from $200, $217, and running up to $800. Really came back down, retraced, and started to really tease that support zone, that major support zone. So and it's looking good. It's almost reflecting the Bitcoin chart, right? BNB, as you guys know, CZ is working. This man is working. This man is in Kyrgyzstan, he's in Pakistan, he's all over the place, just being an advocate for Bitcoin, as more of these countries are really asking for this advisory role. You know, they see what's going on in the US. They see what's going on in the US and how it's on the cusp of initiating a Bitcoin reserve, and a lot of these other countries, they have to get in before the US does. Otherwise, they'll be buying Bitcoin at a much higher price. So a lot of these countries, man, they're desperate to understand what Bitcoin is and start to have a Bitcoin strategy, right? So they can compete, or at least not buy Bitcoin before the US does. Because once the US buys Bitcoin, a lot of countries will be left behind. So shout out to El Salvador, man. El Salvador has been buying at a discount, right? Big shout out to you. They said, you know what, forget the IMF, forget all these people. We're gonna buy Bitcoin because we believe in the future and we know what's going on. So the president of El Salvador, man, he's genius. You know what I'm saying? Genius. I think they're gonna do phenomenal work. They're just ahead of the curve. Another one to really pay attention to, Sui. Sui has exploded. I don't know which one that I may be more bullish on, whether it's Solana or Sui, right? Ethereum, I think Solana just gave ETH a couple punches when Mike Tyson, but Sui might just Mike Tyson Solana, right? Because they have a much better chart compared to, you know, Solana is doing well, but the Sui chart, my goodness, right? There's a lot of institutional money. There's a lot of money in Sui, and one of my favorite analysts, Raul Paul, is really bullish on Sui. So this is the one to keep an eye on, right? And this thing is, the way this thing is moving, just that, come on, man. How high is Sui going to go, right? I think they're a great ecosystem. I think they're gonna do phenomenal work. They're gonna do phenomenal work. Kind of one more last story before we're done for today is really one of my favorite chains. I actually have one across just around the corner from me. Stake and Shake to roll out the US Bitcoin payments nationwide. So we're starting to see a lot of this change. A lot of these businesses really start to, enact Bitcoin payments, which is really cool. I don't know if they will use Lightning or whatnot. Lightning will probably be the best option, right? Especially for Bitcoin payments, because I'm not going to pay those ridiculous Bitcoin fees, to get like an $8 burger. I'm not going to pay $5 Bitcoin fees to get an $8 burger and some fries, right? But if they do accept Lightning, that would definitely be ideal. But, look, if this is successful for Stake and Shake, we should see more businesses really start to adopt crypto payment, and this is really awesome to see, right? Bitcoin, again, we're not even back at all-time highs, and we're seeing businesses, right, start adopting Bitcoin, and countries adopting the Bitcoin strategy, right? We're gonna do some crazy numbers. But with that said, guys, that's all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this, please give me a like, a subscribe, and leave a comment. With that, stay bullish, my friends, and much love to you guys. We're about to have fun. We're about to have so much freaking fun. Let's go. Much love. Take care. Bye-bye.